We are speaking with Susan Sarandon. Now, you've played so many different characters over the years, from a nun, for, of course, which you won the Oscar, to Doris Duke in Bernard and Doris, in which you were just brilliant. But have you ever played royalty before?
I don't think I have, actually. And I was saying earlier that kind of my natural personality and kind of inclination would be to play the other queen. And so it's been a challenge for me to play the one that is very uptight and very, withdrawn, and everyone else is running around, and the young queen is throwing herself at him and loving him and touching him, and I'm constantly kind of withholding. So it's been a real challenge to figure out how to do that actively. I don't know that I would have considered it if the letter hadn't come from Geoffrey. Geoffrey Rush and I have an odd. I gave him his Academy Award because I had one the year before, and that was kind of our first moment to meet. And then the next time was in the Banger Sisters, when I was asked to hit him with my car and throw him into the ground. So those two moments, the very loving, generous moment and hitting him with the car, kind of are what this character's about.
The play is primarily about death, the fear of death, and perhaps how we shouldn't fear death. Is that a subject that, you're far too young to worry about, but is it a subject that is it a subject that comes through your mind, or that you've had discussions with your partner, Tim Robbins, or with your children?
I guess I have a little bit of a strange sense when it comes to dealing with these topics, but I always think that that's the saving grace. And definitely, if you ask if I talk to my kids are really, really funny, thank God. And they are kind of wacky and ironic, and I don't think you should ever have sex with anyone that isn't ironic. So that's been my bottom line, and I'm sticking to it.
We are talking with Academy Award winner Geoffrey Rush, who is coming to Broadway, finally, in Eugene Ionesco's Exit the King, a play that you first did in Australia. So tell us a little bit about how the first production came about and what attracted you about King Berenger.
When I read it, I thought, wow, why has this play ended up in academia? Why is it not in the theatres? Because it's got this rampant, brilliant imagination popping and fizzing all the way through it. Played a season in Melbourne, then a season in Sydney, kept developing it, and then producers from New York came to see it in Sydney, and they said, look, we'd really like to put this on in America. And I said, great. And, because of equity, we had to rethink the cast, and look who we got. Wow.
According to Susan, the reason you got her is that you actually wrote her a letter and asked her to do it. Is this true?
Oh, yeah. And I sort of felt as though, it was a letter that I had to kind of pitch very persuasively, which was easy for me to do because I have such a kind of passion for its weird dynamics. It goes from burlesque to moments that suddenly take your breath away. And there is an advantage, I suppose, in people not knowing the play well, because no one kind of knows in what direction it's going to swerve in the next 10 minutes. And it does constantly surprise the audience, I think.
We are talking with the fabulous Andrea Martin. What has it been like so far working with Geoffrey and with Susan Sarandon?
Well, Geoffrey did this triumphantly in Australia. So he's come with the finished result. Susan and Lauren and myself and Bill and Brian are all finding our way. How do we understand the play and put it in our bodies like Geoffrey has? So it's interesting. You don't often play with somebody that's done the production before. Yeah, he's so kind. He's never given a note. He never says this is how we did it or you got to move over here. Never. It's just constant exploration. But I think it's a masterpiece. Actually, I haven't felt like this since I did Mistress Quickly in Shakespeare in the Park, and I thought, oh my God, how do you do Shakespeare? But it feels like you're that supported by brilliance. Really, it's amazing.
We're speaking with William Sadler, who's playing the Doctor in Ionesco's Exit the King. You often get cast in roles of sort of authority figures. What do you think that is?
It's the bones in my face, I think. I don't know. It's always been the case, and I'm glad. I'm thankful for small favors.
Tell me a little bit about working with this particular cast.
Time to tell stories. No, they're just delicious to work with. I got to tell you, you can't imagine how much giggling goes on in these rehearsals. Andrea Martin will come in and do something, and we just fall on the ground laughing, and it's in the. Hopefully, we'll be able to keep a straight face on opening night.